Hello, boardwalkers, and welcome to Country Boardwalk Studios. Today, I thought I would talk with you about what I use to protect my artwork, whether it's watercolor, graphite, charcoal, colored pencils, and keep it protected from dust or water and moisture. There are two different types of products you could use, and I use both of these. I have the Krylon Workable Fixatif, which it protects pencil, pastel, and chalk drawings, prevents smudging and wrinkling, but it allows you to really easily rework your artwork after you've used this on it. It's acid-free and archival safe. It says you can also use it for pencil, charcoal, Conte crayons, watercolor, India ink, and regular wax-based crayons. You can use it on wood, metal, plastic, paper mache, glass, plaster, ceramic, dry and silked flowers, paper, wicker, and a host of other things. The thing about this, though, is you have to use this outside. You have to have a place where you can do it outside so you're not breathing in the fumes or the vapors. That. The other product I like to use is this Jacquards Dorland Wax Medium. And this is used mainly, it's a compound translucent wax and resin mixture. And this is usually used for mixing with oil paints, powdered pigments, colored sands and dyes, and other compatible art materials and that. But you can also use it for sealing and protecting matte top coats with a matte top coat finish for your paintings, for wood, paper, plastic, metal, photographs, and more. You basically spread a thin coat of this on and buff it after you allow it to dry. This one, you spray it on and you allow it to dry in 10 to 15 minutes before you can handle it and move it somewhere to dry and finish drying for an hour. If you're new to my channel, I'm CB Mac, and on my channel you'll find tutorials about plein air painting with watercolors, gouache, ink, graphite, charcoal, and colored pencils. I also do art supply reviews. If you're enjoying this video, could you give it a thumbs up? Share this video with others who you think might enjoy it. Click on that subscribe button. It does make a huge difference in the growth and support of my channel. I'm up to about 41 or 42 of you wonderful subscribers who are enjoying my content. Okay, so I will put links for the Krylon Workable Fixatif and the Jacquards Dorland Wax Medium in the description below with the Amazon links where I bought these both. I bought both of these with my own money. I'm going to set the workable fixative aside, and I will take you guys outside in a minute and show you how to actually use that product. Right now, I'm going to show you how to use the Dorland's wax medium. Let me pull this cardboard out of here, set up to hold those things still. Earlier, though, I did use the workable fixative on this painting. And I don't know if you noticed, but right here it has some extra bleeding. And right here on the corner, there's some extra bleeding because I ended up getting too close with my spraying. The other painting that I sprayed down with that spray fixative was the Do Not Spray or Mow painting. And this is the painting I entered in the Women's in Watercolor competition this past summer. But you can tell that that has got a matte finish. It's got kind of a shiny finish where the where some of it on the stems in that, where it ran a little bit. But those two have been used with the workable fixative. I'm going to set those aside. The other painting that I'm going to show you about using the workable spray fixative is going to be this painting here. There's nothing on this one, so I'm going to set it to the side over here also. And we'll take that painting out in a minute and use the workable fixative. But the paintings that I have already used the wax on is this watercolor pencil one. Now I have not buffed these, and I'm going to do that in a minute. You just take a cloth. You can see here where it's kind of waxy, and I buffed it with my finger a little bit here on this corner where it looks a little different. But you just take a cloth or a cotton bud and you just work it and smooth it out after you've put it on and allowed it to dry. And it gets the rest of that residue off of your painting, of the waxy buildup. Now, do you have to put watercolor paintings, a fixative, or a wax on your watercolor paintings? No. Most of the time, your painting is fine and protected with just it being under a mat and a piece of glass in a frame. I like using both these products because I live in the hot, humid Mississippi weather, and even though my watercolor paintings are framed and put under glass, sometimes the humidity gets really bad and I still end up with moisture in some of my paintings. So it's just my personal preference to add this extra step of sealing all my artwork, even if I'm going to put it under glass. You do not have to do that. If you feel comfortable with just putting your painting under glass or your artwork under glass with a mat and keeping it out of the direct sunlight for the UV rays, that is perfectly fine. This is just a preference and a way that I like to protect my artwork. And it's something I thought you guys would like to see how I do. So I am not saying this is the right or wrong way. See how that buffed off a lot of that color. But if you've noticed, it's not smearing or going anywhere on my artwork. It's not affecting my artwork. It's just getting the rest of that dust off of my painting. All right, so I did this painting, and I did this painting with the Dorland's wax. So I'm going to set these aside. And this is the one we're keeping for the fixative. I'll show you how to use that one in a minute. I'm going to show you how to use the wax on this painting, on my Moth painting. And basically what I do is I just use a cotton pad, and I'm going to peel this one off, peel this little bit off, and set it to the side, and I'm going to use this back side here. You just dip in and get you a little bit of the wax, and you just put it on. Get that on my finger better and get out some wax. There we go. And you're just going to take and rub a thin layer all over your painting. I'm doing circles. I like to do circles after I get it spread out. I don't know if you can see the wax on there. But then I will come in a little bit later, and just like I did those other two that I just showed you a while ago, and buff them again later with another cloth or another tissue. But now that's protected from the dust. If I need to, ripped my paper here. We're going to go ahead and take that off and seal that up on that corner. And that's still protected. And I can still put this under glass, and it will still be fine. See how that is nice and smooth now? A little bit of wax right there that I missed. All right. Now I can just set that one aside. Now on this one, I thought I would do half the girl and this side of the painting, sketching, with the wax, and show you how that looks, and then take this outside and spray it down on the other half with the spray fixative so we could compare what they look like on the same piece of artwork. So I'm going to run this down halfway. And even though I don't have anything painted on this, I'm going to run it all the way out to the edge on the white spaces. And I'm going to do it over this graphite. And that half is complete. And I will just come back in and we will buff that down. Now you can see on that one how this has not got any shine on it from the wax, but this has got the wax on it. I'm going to put the lid on this. I'm going to cut the camera off and I'm going to take us outside with both of these paintings, and we will use this workable fixative to spray this down, and then we'll come back in and we'll look at the comparison of both the workable fixative and the Dorland's wax medium on this. Okay, I've got the paintings set up on my front porch here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake this up. So it's nice and mixed up, and it says to hold the can 6 to 9 inches from the surface of the stuff you're wanting to paint, and apply in thin coats. So we'll pop this lid off. And I'm just going to start off, hold it down, and just put a light bit of, whoop, wrong side, light bit of spray on this. And we'll give it a few minutes, 5 or 10 minutes. And then I'll take it back inside and we'll let you see up close what it looks like. Okay, and we're back inside now. And it's been about 3 or 4 hours actually. So these have had plenty of time to dry. This one was sprayed with the fixative, the workable fixative, and you can see there's no shine on it or stickiness or anything. And then this one we did with the wax medium, and you can see when I hold it up to the light how it's got little patches and streaks of wax. We're going to buff that one out in here in a minute. And then you can really tell on this one that we did the half and half with. This side looks really smooth and clean. And this half over here, you can see how it's got the shine of the wax, so I'm going to buff that one out. And then I'm going to show you actually the workable part of this workable fixative. So I've got me a clean makeup pad, and we're just going to buff this out again like we did the earlier one and work this in. We're not getting any residue on this. Buffing this. And I usually work in circles or go back and forth and just smooth it out. Just to where it's really smooth. And you can hear I'm being pretty aggressive on it. More than usual. But that's because I've done this many times and I know how it will react with my paper. Alright. You can see the wax on there, the excess. And there, it's got a nice, even little shine on it. And that one's completely done now. We can set that one over here till we do our testing on it. And now this side, I'm going to buff this side where we had the wax on it. And now you can see that that's a little bit better. There's still a considerable amount of difference on it. Oop. All right. Now I'm going to take the water and I'm going to drop it on here. On this side. And I'm going to take my paintbrush. I've got a little bit of blue, I think, still in my paintbrush. Whoop. All right. And as you can see, that has not affected any bit of that color on that side. Not any bit of it. It looks just like it was when we first painted it. Now, on this workable fixative side, I'm going to put some right here. I'm going to make sure this brush is clean. And I'm going to work this in here. And then I'm going to blot. And you can tell just a bit that that is removed a little bit of that paint. Let me show you on this side over here. We'll do it on this shirt. Let me take up that drop there. Now, see how that red is coming up on that towel? We've managed to pull up a little bit of that red paint because this half of the paper was done with just the workable fixative and that. It prevents the smudging and the wrinkling, but it allows you to easily rework it. So if I'm working on a painting that I know that I'm going to have to step away from it for a good while, but I don't want anything to move or mark on it, and I want it to have some bit of protection, I will put a workable fixative on it. Now, these workable fixative ones, I still will have to either put them under glass to protect them or put a layer of this Dorland's wax on it if I don't want to put it under glass, because the watercolor will still move. So I'm hoping that this tutorial of how to seal your watercolor paintings or any of your other kind of creative art paintings with graphite, charcoal, or pastels, or crayons, or any of those other mediums that you enjoy using, gives you a little help to choose which one of these fixatives and sealers will work best for you and your application. And like I said, I will put links for both the Dorland's wax and the Krylon Workable Fixative that I have links to for the Amazon. And that just means I get a small commission if you click on those links. I will also put links on the various tutorials, the tutorial about the Moth, the tutorial on the skin tones, and the watercolor pencil of the Persimmon. And I don't have tutorials on these other three paintings. These were all paintings I did with Steve Mitchell class, with his spontaneous landscape paintings. And then, of course, I don't have a tutorial on my painting, I don't think, of my do not mow or spray painting entry here. So, if you have any questions or comments about either of these fixatives, or if you know of any other fixatives that works best for you that I have not mentioned, please feel free to post those in the comments below. I do read each and every comment, and I do try to answer all the questions posted. I hope this has been a huge help for you, and I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Goodbye for now, boardwalkers.